Okay, so first off, before I start this video, I'd like to say a thank you to Parker William Corno for giving me this idea of speaking in front of a camera to really express an emotion because I really need it. Because I'm really feeling something right now, and I really want to get my feelings and the way I'm feeling, the emotions that I'm feeling right now, into this world. And I want to have it documented so that I can come back to this and be like, yeah, that's how far I've come. So appreciate you, Parker. Um, and this is something that I just really wanted to get off my chest. One day you'll look back at this, Ethan. I know you will, and you'll be like, yeah, I came from this. Okay. Um, so let me just get started. My name's Ethan. I'm the third generation of a Chinese immigrant. Today is January 2nd, 2026, and I am completely financially broke. Let me tell you how I got here. Well, let me tell you why I started clicking this video first. Right now I'm in Montreal, and tonight I'm going to the casino with a group of friends, and I said that I'm gonna probably put in $100. This Airbnb cost around $277 for me because it's split between some of my other friends and my sister's friends. Tomorrow I'm gonna be going to Mont Tremblant, a ski resort, $95. Overall, this entire Montreal trip, because I'm on December break right now, right? I thought, I could enjoy myself and whatnot. This entire Montreal trip it's gonna cost around $500. See, there's two things I want to mention how I've got here. Because I can't afford all this, to be honest. And I shouldn't have ever come to this trip at all. But with peer pressures, with, me wanting a break for myself, I've said yes. And now I have to spend all this money. And this is a really common theme within my life when I'm reflecting back a little bit, okay? So there's two things I want to talk about. One, ever since I was a kid, money was not a problem for me. Money has never been a problem. My dad, whenever we would go out, they'd just spend money, and it's just a part of the cost of having fun. Okay? It's just something, you know, that if you wanted like a poutine at a store when you're hungry, when you're out, you just buy it. When you wanted to have fun outside at, the X, you just have fun, you buy it and whatnot. If you're craving a smoothie, you just go and, buy a drink. This was my life, essentially my entire life. So money was never something that was so desperately needed to be cautious about. And this is a very upcoming theme. Because I am a third year generation of a, fortunate family that has a business, and you could see my life like I was like spoon fed my entire life. So money was never something that I needed to be cautious about. That's number one. Number two, when I was 13, I made my first $1,000 from just a internet and laptop and phone and a passion of making videos. And ever since then, money was not tangible. It was just numbers and pixels on a screen. And I'd say from that day on, I've seen money in a completely different light, where money is not really something that I have to work hard for. It's something that can be traded for something that I love to do. And so until even this day, I've held on to this mentality that I can make money from just the comfort of my home with an internet connection, a laptop, and something that I love doing, business. And throughout the years, I've done that. I've made a couple thousands here and there. You know, even Marketing Spotlight Council, the community organization, and everything was essentially 98% all done from just a laptop. And so I've made my like thousands of dollars online essentially from just a laptop. And my value perception of money has completely depleted. Because I didn't have a consistent income, and money just came in big gifts. Like after I completed a commission, $1,000 would just be sent over to me. Because money was like just like this, it wasn't consistent over time, and I never had an allowance, by the way. I felt like I deserved to spend that money because I earned that hard from my own hard work. Obviously, it was ambitious work that I like to do, for example, video editing or, starting a business or whatnot, but I earned that I earned that money. And so I never learned how to budget. I never learned how to save, and I just spent it all. And so these are the two factors in which I think made me who I am today, in terms of financially, and why I'm completely broke right now. Number one, because I grew up in a wealthy family, and number two, because my complete value of my perception of money has been gone to the shithole, essentially. And so there's this saying in Chinese history. It goes,富不过三代. And essentially, this saying, directly translated, is wealth rarely goes beyond 3 generations. And the theory goes that the first generation is hardworking because they come from poor, absolute poor, and they create a business or they create the family's fortune. They come from zero. They come from dirt, rock, stone, nothing. And that was my grandpa. He was sort of following along with this sort of story. He wasn't that wealthy. He wasn't in a very wealthy family. And he started up like this tutoring business that now all of Ontario, essentially, all the Chinese people in Ontario know. And my dad, the son of my grandpa, took over the business when he was essentially in university and shit. And now the business is around 40 years plus, doing great. And so my dad had me, and now I'm the 3rd generation. A lot of people are 2nd generations in this community, especially in Markham. But me, I'm the 3rd generation. And the theory goes that by the 2nd generation, my dad, the 2nd generation sees the struggles of his dad. And by the 3rd generation, that survival, hunger of wanting success is no longer there. And when I heard this theory, this saying, I felt that it was so unfair. Because essentially, the theory said that the third generation will become poor again. Because they didn't feel that hunger anymore. And over the past couple of years, even before I started clicking this video, I believe that I'm going to conquer this theory, this myth, this saying, this Chinese saying. I don't want this saying to dictate my life. I don't want to be poor again. Why would I ever trust this? I don't want to let fate control me. The heck? I don't want to let this theory control me. It's essentially saying that I'm going to become poor again because I don't have hunger. I don't have that drive anymore, that motivation to become fortunate. And over the past couple of years, I've tried to live a life that doesn't necessarily suit who I am yet, in hopes to show to the world that I've conquered this theory already, and that I make my own successes, and that I'm going to defeat the odds in which this theory has pressed up against me. And even before recording this video, this was still my mentality, but now I've realized that I've already experienced it. Over the past couple of months, over the past couple of years, I've been spoon-fed the universe, the world, spoon-fed everything. Money just came so easily to me, and I just spent it all. And I was never financially cautious about anything. I never learned how to budget because I didn't need to. I felt I didn't need to. I earned everything on myself. Money was not a problem. Money was not something that needed to be cautious about because, I just believed that there's more. My family is so wealthy, and essentially I built up this life where whatever I wanted, I just bought it. I wanted a jacket, I'd buy it. I wanted some smoothie whenever I'd be out, I'd buy it. And, I've tried to maintain a status in which I've beat this theory.富不过三代, 富不过三代, 富不过三代. The ego in which I've made a couple $1,000s here online a little bit has essentially masked my idea of financial caution. There's two things: the wealth and my own money that I made. What I didn't realize is that, just because I made a little bit of money online doesn't mean that I can spend like a king, bro. And this curse against me, 富不过三代, 富不过三代, I didn't want it to control me, and I realize now that it has already. All this time that I've been thinking that, my life's purpose is to beat this odd. And look at me now. And before I clicked recording this video, I felt that it's so unfair for me to be experiencing this. I'm literally scraping for money. I want to make money, but I want to make my own way, money my own way. Everybody keeps telling me get a corporate job, but I don't want to trade my time for money. I want to trade my skills for money. Exactly what I've been doing with my internet businesses, my animations. That's what it's been instilled in my head. I can earn money through just the comfort of my home and my passion and my ambitions. Why can't I do that now? And now I'm scraping for money. Right now, it feels so unfair. I'm just freshly 18 years old. I just turned 18. I'm just an adult. And why am I scraping up money? to live. Why am I scraping up money to live? I want to have fun. I want to have a life. But unfortunately, I now need a source of income. I knew that, but I wanted to do it my own way. And that's how I felt, really. Because I don't want to be leeching off my family anymore. I want to make my own money. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to take over my dad's business and just have everything hand-fed to me again. I want to make my own business. But the thing is, you need money to create a business. You need starting capital, and I'm tired of leeching. And so right now, really, I'm at a zero. I'm at a complete zero. Although I have some money now, like $500 or so, it's not enough for me to even start my own business. And the key takeaway from this is that I've gone and experienced富不过三代now. And I'm so happy that the world has taught me this when I'm 18. And now I will stick to this. I will now learn what it means to be broke completely. I'm not going to ask for money anymore. I'm not going to leech off my parents. I'm going to build everything from zero. Zero. And that means getting a job, getting a corporate job, trading my time for money. It's not something that I like to do, but it's something that I have to do now. Just so that I can start from somewhere, have something to start with. And I just feel this feeling is so unfair for an 18-year-old to have to struggle through. I don't think anybody feels the way I feel about right now. Nobody does. I don't think I could find one person who would relate to this. I have so much ambition and passion and direction in which I want to go, in which I want to make my own money in the future. I want to be a millionaire. I will be a millionaire. But before I click record, the feeling that I felt was that this is so unfair, that I have so much ambition and passion and I want to reach the stars, and I'm born into this wealthy family and I still have to scrape up money like this. No, I'm putting myself in these situations because I'm not going to leech off my parents anymore. Yeah. So that's the feeling. That's the feeling. And mind you, although I come from nothing right now, from zero financially myself, I'm gonna make it fucking huge. Not from my parents' help, not from my family's help, but from myself. I'm going to build and scale a brand to like 6, 7, 8 figures, bro. Mark my fucking words. I'm gonna build it myself. And the way it starts is realizing this theory came true already, and it's fortunate. I'm fortunate for it to come into my life already, because now I can be more financially cautious and learn what it means to be poor while I still can, and while I still, have a little bit of my family support. At least I'm not on the fucking streets, and I realize this. I've experienced Fubu go Sandai. Thank you. And now I'm gonna change the world. Ethan out.